What was your relationship with ambient music before Six Missing?
I was a big fan of soundtracks, and I think that was maybe the primer to ambient music. I really loved film scores. Even as a kid, I would get the cassette or the CD of the original soundtrack to the movies that I really loved, and I would play them and I'd listen to them and I'd like play the movie in my head or I'd act out action stuff in my bedroom. I always really loved how music created a mood and a vibe and how it could change my perspective of what was happening in my life. So like one of my favorite things to do when I was in New York was pop on headphones and just listen to like a score, a soundtrack, and kind of float through the streets and see how that changed how I was experiencing my day. And then I got sick. I got the flu once and I was at work and I had a fever. I don't go down very often, and this was taking me down, and I had to go. And this is before COVID, obviously, where people just showed up to work because we had to be there. And like, you're sick, okay, just stay in your room.
That's what you did.
Yeah. So I was real sick, and I threw in the towel, and I put in my headphones. I was waiting for the subway. I had seen Risky Business recently, and Tangerine Dream did the score to a lot of that film. I was like, I don't really know them though. Like I want to check them out. So I put on Tangerine Dream's Phaedra, and between my fevered state and kind of the ambient world that record created, I was like in this magic moment of in between reality and dream worlds. And I was like, holy shit, this is incredible. What is this? This track is like 18 minutes long. And like, wow, this is fantastic. It goes to these places. It's hypnotic. It's mesmerizing. It does everything that a film score does, but like with synths and guitars and effects. And being that I was a musician and am like, I was just hook, line, and sinker in on that. So that was kind of the thing that blew the top off the box for me with ambient music. And then I went to the classics like Brian Eno, Harold Budd, Paul Horn, Suzanne Ciani, Wendy Carlos, like all of these just giants in the world. It was almost like discovering the Beatles for the first time, being like, wow, there's so much here. That was what got me into it. Always been a fan of like jam stuff, jam bands, and having those long extended periods of instrumental stuff. So it was just kicked all the boxes for me as a musician in my very weird niche of check boxes. So that was kind of like the moment that it happened. And it was, yeah, I can remember clear as day. It's like one of my favorite records. It's just so cool.